Warren was 7. They held Warren, the folks held Warren back so we could go, they didn't have to drive back and forth to town for one kid. They drove Warren and I together. We were in the same grade from first grade till 12, through 12. And they drove us back and forth in an old 1928 Chevrolet. And I don't know what time we started driving, but when we started driving, Dad went back and bought us a 28 Chevrolet to drive back and forth. But we were in high school then, freshmen in high school. We started in the first grade and graduated in grade 12 together, and went to the same school all 12 years.
Do you remember the names of your schools?
Of the school, Weevil County High. Weevil County Grade School and Weevil County High School was all in the same building.
How many kids were in that school?
Oh, there was probably 20 in our grade all the way through. Back in those days, though, the teachers taught first grade and second grade in the same room, third grade and the fourth grade in the same room, and the fourth grade and the fifth grade in the same room, and so forth.
Did you graduate from high school?
Yes, I did.
College?
No. College was never talked about in our home.
What was talked about instead of college?
I don't really know. Milking cows. That was their livelihood.
What year did you graduate?
1948.
How many kids were in your class?
20, 22.
How many can you name?
I can probably, if you got a lot of time, I can name them all.
I got time.
There was Margaret Welver, who was a cousin, first cousin. Lois Storkel, who was a first cousin. Warren, Shirley Bridenfeld, myself, Jim Hoffman, Lenora Berger, Billy Berg, Philip Dale. Guess I can't name them all. Natalie Jablonski, 10, that's half of them.
Well, just yell them out when you remember the other ones. That'll be kind of fun. Tell me about any teachers you liked.
Does a kid ever really like a teacher?
Tell me about some you disliked.
We had one who was, she didn't like the way you were working. She'd beat you on the knuckles with a ruler. Now they can't do that.
What was her name?
Miss Leela Hall. She was a good teacher. Don't get me wrong. She was just, they had control in those days. I don't know that they do now.
How do you think they had control different than they do today?
Well, the teacher can't beat on the kid today. No way, no how. Like our superintendent in those days used to pack a club around with him. He'd give kids whippings, and they can't do that anymore. That's the way that went. But he was a good old boy too. He was in Weevil for a lot of years.
What did you learn in those first years of school?
Well, we never had kindergarten, so we had to learn everything in the first grade that they now learn in kindergarten. So kids, I think, are actually ahead of us a little bit.
Is there anything you want to pass along about that you learned?
We learned to read and write. Arithmetic, reading and writing and arithmetic, isn't it?
Did you play sports?
Nope, Dad wouldn't let us. Had to go home and milk them cows.
Did you name the cows?
Nope.
Did you hate the cows?
Yep.
Did you talk to the cows?
No.
If you would have, what would you have said?
If we did talk to them, it wasn't nice.
Well, that's what I want to hear.
We swore at them.
Did you do other extracurricular activities after school or in school?
Nope, we had to get home.
Music?
We were in music all the way through school. Played tonettes as soon as we were big enough to play a tonette.
What's a tonette?
Tonette is a little plastic thing you blow in, like a clarinet, only it's only about 8 inches long, 4 finger holes and 2 thumb holes.
Did you were you in any plays or drama?
Nope.
Why?
Had to get home and milk the cows.
What was your first car?
My first car? Uncle Walt had an old Model T sitting in his garage down there, a Model T pickup. And he gave it to Warren and I. He didn't think we could get it to run, but we got it running.
How long did it take you to get it running?
Not very long. You could still buy parts, but yeah, old Model Ts didn't have a distributor on them. They had what they call a timer. Had a coil for each cylinder. Didn't have a starter. You had to crank it. Didn't have yeah, it had a battery. It had an old 6-volt dry cell battery in it.
Do you remember how much you spent to get it running?
No, because the parts for on that old Model T were the same as Dad's tractor at that time, which was an old Fordson tractor.
Did his tractor run after you got your car running?
Yep.
So, how old was that car when you got it?
Oh, when we got it, we were probably 12, 13, so it would have been, 12 on the 30 would have been 1942. I suppose in 1924 or 25. Had wooden spoke wheels on it.
Do you wish you had it still?
Many times Warren and I have sat down and reminisced about that old Model T.
How would we know which cars to keep?
How would we know what cars to keep? I don't think you do, because somebody else makes them. You know, just like the Ford Mustang. Who made it popular? They had no idea it was going to become that popular when they made it. Same way with a 57 Chevrolet.
Did you have one of those?
57? No. I had a 55 Chevrolet, brand new, when we got married.
What was your favorite car?
Oh, I think that 55 Chevrolet at that time.
Did you name your cars?
No. We had another one. When we were driving back and forth to school, Walt gave us an old 1928 Whippet. That's most of the people nowadays have never heard of, you know. And we made it run and drove it back and forth to school. And it had wooden wheels on it too. Instead of a fuel pump, they had a vacuum tank on it, about the size of a gallon cannon. Their motor creates a vacuum and sucks the gas up in there, and then geographically drops down into the carburetor. The vacuum tank always set higher than the carburetor. A lot of changes in the automotive business this time in history, I guess.
How so?
Well, that's one. There's no fuel pumps on them in those days. They didn't have fuel pumps. Wooden spoke wheels, which wore out. That don't happen today.
What's the technology that you think has revolutionized the car industry?
Well, they've been doing things to them, you know, in 36, or when we were driving back to school, it was hell to get a car started in the wintertime. Now they have fuel injection on them, and I don't think any of them would be able to start now, unless something was definitely wrong.
Did you exercise?
No, we got plenty of exercise.
Doing what?
Feeding hogs and feeding cows and putting up hay for the cows.
Does that help?
Yep.
Who'd you forget?
Laura Berger, and Nels Bow, and Fay Hammond, Stuart Harp, Bill Harp, James Hoffman, Renee Houghton, Celia Cougar, Babe Larson, Leona Manning, Philip Meek, Jane Owens, Beverly Parker, Dolores Quady, Sammy Scammon, and Bernice Sims. I was right on how many was in our class, too. I said 20, didn't I?
We'll turn the page. We'll have to rewind. I don't remember.
Oh, there's Warren and I, and Lois Storkel, I named, Margaret, I named, Betty Whitty. Well, there's 25 in our class.
So how'd you and Warren end up in the same class?
Well, folks were poor in those days, and they weren't going to spend the time and gas money driving one kid back and forth. So they didn't. They held him back 1 year and took us both on the same year.
So is he just 1 year older than you?
Yep. Warren is 82 and I'm 81.
So you kind of then did twin things.
No, because not really, because Warren's interests were much different than mine. Warren was playing with motorcycles and model airplanes, building model airplanes. That was his life. That was his thing. It still is today. When Warren graduated from high school, he went to work for the railroad and worked his way out to Seattle and went to change occupations there, went to work for the Boeing. He worked for Boeing for 35 years.